This week on ELN Morning.
1 week after the government shutdown, and now the nation faces an even bigger deadline. More on what this could mean for the nation and ELN students.
Halloween is only 23 days away. Our Matt Lee headed to Gibsonville for a night of fright in the Triad.
And we're less than 1 month away from the opening night of ELN's fall musical. I got a sneak peek of Ragtime and sat down with the actors to talk about the show. All this and more coming up on ELN Morning.
Good morning and thank you for tuning into ELN Morning. I'm Jasmine Turner.
And I'm Ashley McGetrick. We're now on day 8 of the government shutdown and lights are still out on Capitol Hill. But now Congress is facing an even more pressing deadline, the debt ceiling. If Congress doesn't take action, the government will not be able to borrow money to pay bills like Social Security or interest on that debt.
Today, ELN Local News' Jason Puckett joins us in the studio with Professor of Political Science and Director of the ELN Poll, Kenneth Fernandez, to talk more about the debt ceiling. Jason?
Jasmine and Ashley, if the nation fails on its debt, it will be the first time in American history, and now the looming deadline of October 17th is less than 10 days away. And, you know, we want to know what this could mean for the nation. So today we have with us Dr. Fernandez, the head of ELN Poll. Dr. Fernandez, I think the question on everyone's mind right now is, you know, if this happens, the debt ceiling is reached, you know, what's going to happen to the country?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are worrying about this because it hasn't happened before. We've had 17 different shutdowns, and we've sort of gone through those successfully. But when we start reneging on our interest on our debt, what happens, right? Credit markets start getting affected. So if you want to get a loan for your house, student loans could get affected. Right now, the shutdown may be affecting ELN students in that if you're studying abroad, there may be a slowdown in getting a passport. Right now, your federal student loans are not being affected, but in a debt crisis absolutely could be affected.
And can you tell me a little bit, we're in a shutdown right now. If nothing with that changes and we do hit this, you know, worst case scenario, those are overlapping, what would that mean?
Sure, I think the shutdown has a modest impact on the economy. Generally, you see the stock market dip for about 1% to 2%, but with a debt crisis ceiling not being resolved in the next 10 days, we could see some very important problems. One, again, it would be worse than the sequestration, right? Because you'd have automatic spending cuts. And you wouldn't have much control over it. And again, once you start defaulting on the interest payments on our debt, we would start seeing effects on the credit market. Inflation would go up. It would be really a disaster.
Well, thank you so much, doctors. I appreciate the information. Back to you, Ashley and Jasmine.
Thanks, Jason. Last night we told you about an ELN student who is feeling the effects of the shutdown, and today we have our own Brendan Joyner in the studio with a personal connection. Joyner's parents both work for the federal government and are currently out of work. He's here to tell us more about how his family's coping with the changes and how it's affecting him. Thanks for coming to join us, Brendan.
Thanks for having me.
So can you just tell us what exactly do your parents do for the government?
Well, my dad is actually a librarian for the federal government. My mom works in the human resources branch of the federal government.
And so how did you hear about this? Did you see it on the news or did your parents give you a call?
I heard about it on CNN. I just turned on to the news and I just assumed that, you know, maybe it might affect them. But I gave them a call right when I heard the news and they said, yeah, that was going to affect them as well. So it was definitely an eye-opening break of news, but it was definitely something that opened my eyes and really used me.
Yeah, and I'm sure after you initially saw everything, your parents are furloughed, so they're not getting paid right now. But what was their initial reaction when you first called them?
Their initial reaction was that it was kind of surprising that it was actually going to happen. They thought that there might be, you know, some type of compromise that might come sooner. But once they heard about it, it was kind of one of those things where it was like, this is happening and there's nothing really we can control about it. So we're just going to have to deal with it for right now.
Well, thank you so much, Brandon. And for more stories that matter to you, our Joe Bruno is in the studio to bring you the latest on what's happening around ELN's campus. Joe, what's going on?
Good morning, Jasmine. Here are the stories we are waking up with this morning. Helping Hagen, Vice President Joe Biden will make the 300-mile trip down from D.C. to speak at a luncheon as he campaigns for Senator Kay Hagen on October 21st. Tickets range from $500 to $10,000. Senator Hagen is up for re-election in 2014 and facing challenges from NC Speaker of the House Tom Tillis. OBGYN Greg Brannon and Senior Pastor of the First Baptist Church of Raleigh, Mark Harris. Fighting the flu. Flu vaccines are available in Ward Octagon until 1 p.m. today. It costs $20 and you can put it on your tuition. If you can't make it out for a flu shot, your next chance to get one is on October 24th. Fair Fun. The Dixie Classic Fair is still booming with plenty of fun still left. The Winston-Salem Fair lasts until Saturday, and there are plenty of interesting acts still to come, including a stilt walker, a chainsaw artist, and the Swifty Swine swimming and racing pigs. Finally, beat the Aggies. The Elon women's volleyball team heads to Greensboro tonight to take on NCA&T Aggies. This is Elon's last non-conference game of the year, and the women will host the Citadel and Georgia Southern on Friday and Saturday. There's a peek in today's window. Wishing you the best of luck on today's midterms. I'm Joe Bruno.
Thanks, Joe. For more updates on what's going on around Elon, visit elonlocalnews.com or follow our live updates on Twitter at elonlocalnews. Live this morning from Phi Beta Kappa Plaza is our own ELN Morning College Coffee correspondent Matt Lee. Matt Lee, what's going on over there?
Hey, Ashley and Jasmine, I'm here at College Coffee, and there's a lot going on. There's always something new going on at College Coffee, but right now we've got the EV viewers here talking about the Hop On, Hop Off program. The Bio Bus goes to different volunteer organizations where you can go to Burlington Housing Authority or allied churches and volunteer there. And Spectrum is, or Sparks, well, Spectrum's here too, but Sparks is giving out their new Consent is Sexy t-shirts, which are pretty nice and fancy. So if you want a Consent is Sexy t-shirt, come on, stop by. And the University of an international school in Israel is here, and they're here to talk about doing a study abroad in there and getting involved, and it's really cool. Haifa is a small little town in Israel, and she was really all about it. It sounds like a great place to study abroad. And also, the cards are here for the memorial service, 125th Elon's anniversary, so don't forget about that. We still got things going. And other than that, Drive's here again, so if you want to get in that, do it. So that's basically all we got going on here. I'll be back to talk about something that's happening here with voting and the panel, and we will find out for you. So stay tuned. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Matt. Can't wait to hear the rest of what's going on at College Coffee, so stay tuned.
From a small college to a university, from the Fighting Christian to the Phoenix, Elon Local News will feature a 125th year special on December 2nd. For a sneak peek, take a look at this month's in Elon history. It's an annual tradition at Elon that kicks off the school year, Convocation, and in 1989, Elon held its first fall convocation. Former Atlanta Mayor Andrew Young spoke at the first event in front of West Dorm. He encouraged students to get involved in giving back to their community early on. Fall convocation speakers since 1989 include author Dave Barry, former president of Pakistan Pervez Musharraf, Maya Angelou, and this year's Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak. And if you missed Convocation this year, visit our website, elonlocalnews.com, for full coverage of the event. Stay tuned because there's more coming up on ELN Morning.
I'm Katie Margie, and I'll bring you 40 minutes down the road to a place that'll bring you 300 years into the past, coming up on ELN Morning.
Fall break is only 4 days away, and if you're hitting the road, you might want to take a look at this week's gas prices before heading out of town. Before traveling home this weekend, visit the Citgo on West Haggard Avenue and University Drive for the cheapest price at $3.21. If you're heading north for fall break, be sure to fill up before hitting the Washington, D.C. traffic. Richmond, Virginia is a great place to also get prices where you can find them between $3.01 and $3.13 a gallon. The cheapest choice for gas if you're traveling is South Carolina, where you can find gas for $3.01 and $3.13 as well.
We apologize for the delay. This is a test of Elon University's emergency notification system. As you can see, actually in the computers behind us, you should be receiving that notification as well. But if you're not planning on leaving for Elon, if you're not planning on leaving Elon this fall break, you might want to check out some local options to get you out of the dorm. Our Aurora Albie-Mercier is here with more on what options you have. Aurora?
If you're looking to save some money, you can visit the Alamance Battleground next week. The Battleground will feature colonial actors that will teach skills such as candle making, weaving, and cider making. Also, militiamen will perform musket and cannon demonstrations. It's fall, and there are many pumpkin patches in the area. If you're looking to get creative, you can try out a complicated design or go with a regular jack-o'-lantern. You can even cook the pumpkin seeds for a tasty treat to go along with your pumpkin spice latte. If you're looking to volunteer over fall break, there are a few options not far from campus. On Saturday, October 12th, Morning Star Baptist Church will be hosting a free community event where volunteers can paint faces, greet guests, and help run the event.
ELN may be celebrating its 125th anniversary, but another piece of North Carolina history is right down the road. ELN Local News' Katie Merrigue traveled back in time to find out what it was like to live in our state more than 300 years ago.
We consider ourselves the Monticello of Winston-Salem.
Drive 40 minutes on I-40 to downtown Winston-Salem and you'll find a little piece of North Carolina history.
The trades were very important. It was a commercial center, a strong commercial center in this area of North Carolina.
Old Salem is a living history museum in the center of Winston-Salem. The museum offers tours, interpreters, and demonstrations of what life was like in 18th century Salem.
Take what is commonly called a town visit. You know, we have various museum buildings that are open for touring.
Originally founded in 1766 by the Moravians, a Protestant group, Old Salem was a craftsman town. The museum was restored in the 50s for guests, and today people come from all over the world to see this little piece of history.
Upwards of 300,000 visitors a year. Lots and lots of fourth graders come, school children.
And the interpreters learn a little something too.
It's surprising that you meet so many people from different nationalities and places I've never been in my life, probably never get to travel, but my picture has traveled many places.
And the story changes with each visitor that comes through. Katie Merrigue, ELN Local News.
Staying in ELN over fall break, tickets are actually free for students in the Triad. But if you're looking for some other options for fall break, you can find some fun at off campus with our Matt Lee, who visited a haunted forest hayride in Gibsonville to kick off the Halloween season.
It may seem like a typical farm during the day, but at night, J. Raz and Taz Farm transforms into a haunted hayride. The hayride started 7 years ago when owner Trey Early wanted to make some extra money.
We've had years that there's been terrible droughts here, and if it wasn't for J. Raz, we would go out of business. So it turned into something that was an added thing to our farm to offer to the public.
Early built the hayride and even made more than 95% of the props on the tour himself. Props like this dragon were handmade by the owners and cost him $600 or more to make. If he was in Hollywood, this dragon would have cost a lot more than that. Ready! Now that's scary. The haunted hayride goes through the farm's woods, but it doesn't have the blood, guts, and gore usually found in a Halloween attraction.
We found out that there really wasn't anything offered that's suitable to take, or I presume suitable, to take a 10-year-old child to for Halloween in this type of activity.
But Early says people can still find something to scream about.
Don't worry about not thinking you won't be scared, because we will scare you. I will promise you, you're going to get scared. But we don't give anybody nightmares.
Early's wife also helps him run the haunted hayride and says she enjoys meeting people from all over the area.
The rest of the day we're alone. We don't see a lot of people, so this is our social interaction for the year. I can't talk much to a tractor, so it's the people. We get to see people have a good time, and it helps end the year for us.
After the Halloween season is over, Early says he will go back to farming and wait until next year when they can host the haunted hayride again. Matt Lee, ELN Local News.
The Haunted Forest Hayride is open Fridays and Saturdays and will continue to run until Thanksgiving. You know, Matt Lee just always finds the fun things to do all the time. You gotta love Matt.
He definitely does. I love Matt, but I'm not a huge fan of anything scary, haunted. My friends are trying to get me to go to something like that, but I don't know. I'm
not for you.
Consider,
all right, we'll just go trick-or-treating on Halloween then.
For sure.
We're going to toss it over to weather because it's hard to believe it's pretty hot out there for the fall, but our Eric Halperin is downtown ELN to tell you what it looks like today. Eric?
Jasmine and Ashley, good morning. If you're thinking about heading over towards College Coffee, definitely take a light coat or a sweatshirt. It's a little bit chilly out here. Definitely not a shorts day. There are some clouds hanging around us, and there's a slight chance of showers for this afternoon, with temps getting up to the low to mid 60s. But if you can power through midterms week, fall break is right around the corner and the weather is starting to look a bit nicer for those heading to the beach this weekend. Here's your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Clouds will be over us for most of the week. Our highs again will be in the low to mid 60s, but look at the weekend ahead, up near 70. And if you're staying around the area for fall break, I think it'll be perfect weather for some apple picking. And Ashley and Jasmine, I think we could break 70 by the beginning of next week. Back to you ladies in the studio.
Coming up on ELN Morning, there are a few farmers markets in the area, but our Gary Grumbach got to take a look at a vendor who is selling something a little different. Drive down Route 40 on any given Saturday morning to find a man who turned his passion into a business. Our Gary Grumbach has more.
This is the Durham Farmers Market. Walk past vendors selling scarves, soaps, food, and you'll find one person selling something a little different.
Pottery is an empowering thing. It's one of the few crafts where somebody can work independently and still actually make a decent living without overhead, infrastructure, a boss.
Mark Cosma is a potter's apprentice for the Durham-based Irons in the Fire. He sells handmade bowls at the Durham Farmers Market each week, but his pottery is more than just a business.
I've always been one to work with my hands, and I see pottery and woodwork as a way for me to work independently. I like to work by myself, have my own time in the workshop.
Growing up, Cosma's family was in the wood and pottery business. Though Cosma's grandparents were carpenters, he started making pottery in college as a stress reliever, and now he's creating more complex pieces.
I would throw a section of it on the pottery wheel. About the first 6 inches would be one piece of clay, and then I'd make a long coil and attach it to the rim and throw that, and I would do that 5 times until I got this completed shape.
Although his business is doing well, Cosma has other plans for the future.
I would like to go back to academia for a while, give me some time, some breathing room to make art and not think about production and sales and numbers.
But for now, he will keep working at the farmers market. Gary Grumbach, ELN Local News.
And Durham isn't the only place to find interesting and unique works of art. The ELN Farmers Market is held every Thursday afternoon in front of the ELN Community Church. I've actually been quite a few times. It's really close to where I live, my apartment. I actually have some artwork that was given to me as a gift last year that was made by an ELN student from the Farmers Market.
I've never been. I'm going to have to go.
Yeah, check it out this Thursday.
Artwork. I thought it was just farmers food and stuff, but now I know. Now we're going to actually send it over back to Matt Lee at College Coffee and see what's going on over there. Matt?
Hey, Ashley and Jasmine, if you heard some or if you got a text about the emergencies, that's just ELN's testing its emergency alert system. College Coffee is still going, and actually something that's really cool that they're having is they're voting. Their students vote on the next panel discussion. Last year's discussion was on gun control. Right now you vote your favorite choice, and there's issues ranging from immigration to race relations to economic reform. So students are putting in their votes in little jars, and we'll see what which issue they want to talk about next. Another cool thing I found out walking around here is that the ELN Physician's Assistant Program, it's a new master's program in its first year, and they have 37 students already. So it was pretty cool to talk to these guys and hear what they had to say. Other than that, it's just a nice windy day. Back to you guys in the studio.
Coming up after the break, I sat down with the cast of Ragtime to get an inside look at this year's musical. We'll have more on that coming up.
Limelight Records, a student-run music label at ELN, produces students' works and gives members production experience. And now one student is gaining school-wide recognition for his work. Our Lauren Cook spoke with him about hitting those high notes.
ELN Jr. Dylan Rockwell has always had a passion for music.
My dad just had kind of guitars laying around the house when I was a kid, and I would just like pick them up occasionally and like look up like some like Fall Out Boy song or something.
And now, almost 8 years later, his dream is finally coming true. Rockwell finished his first extended playlist through Limelight Records this year, and he wrote all the music and lyrics himself.
When I listen to music, like, it's like not enough to just like hear like a song. It's like I want it to be like mine. It's like if I really like a song, it's like I want that to be my song. And the only way to get that is to like write my own songs.
But Rockwell says it can take him months to finish just one song.
It always has to have something unique that I find like unique in it. Otherwise, I'll just like throw it away.
Rockwell's manager Fritz Tully manages the promotion for the EP and has high hopes for the release of his playlist.
It's been awesome working with Dylan. We get along really well, and I think the EP is going to be a real success. It sounds really good.
Rockwell says he hopes to release a second playlist by the end of this year and plans to start a career in music production.
I'd love to be just anywhere on the production side of making music, but that's kind of like hard to get an in, so just any entry-level music job, I'll take it.
Lauren Cook, ELN Local News.
Dylan's promotional team is setting up a coffee shop tour to promote his EP. They have released all their tracks on their SoundCloud account as well.
As we return from break, ELN's fall musical Ragtime will be run in late October and early November. I sat down with the leads of the musical, John Barsonian, Patrick Clanton, and Savannah Sprinkle, to find out why this historical musical is still relevant to the ELN community. We are in McCreary Theater where Ragtime is going to be showing this month, and I'm here with the cast. So would you guys just introduce yourselves and your role in the play?
I play Colehouse Walker Jr., and he's kind of the leader of the Harlem people. He's a pianist. He is on a mission to reconnect with who he believes is the love of his life, named Sarah. And that's kind of where his story starts. And he ends up intersecting with the characters, with mainly the character Mother, but who's played by Savannah, yes. And but later on, inadvertently, in a way that I don't want to spoil, he kind of, becomes connected with Tate as well.
From what I understand, the musical is not a typical musical. This isn't Hairspray where it's all happy hunky-dory singing. It's a pretty deep subject.
I think it's important for audiences to remember this time in history, because if we don't reflect on the past, then we have to make sure this stuff doesn't happen again.
That brings us to some recent events that happened on campus, some racial slurs and drawings being put on students' doors. How do you feel that a play like this addresses things like that specifically? It seems pretty convenient, the timing of the two, that we're dealing with this, and this play is set so far back in history, but we're still dealing with this on our campus today.
One of the main themes is discrimination. Colehouse is very discriminated against, and I'm an immigrant from Latvia, and so my character is very discriminated against. And I think that is still such a sensitive and relevant subject. And ELN, it's a very special place in the sense that it's not in your face, but discrimination is still very much alive. And whether you see it on a daily basis or not, doesn't really matter, because it still is in our culture.
From what I can tell, you guys do a fabulous job, and everyone should go see the play, because from the sneak preview I saw, it's very worth going to see. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing the play.
Thank you.
Ragtime will be showing October 24th through the 26th, and will start again on Halloween through November 2nd. To get your tickets, visit the box office between 10:30 and 5, Monday through Friday. Now, this is really the first time I've made my way over to the Performing Arts Center, and I could not believe the work that these people put on.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh, it's really like professional productions.
Yeah, I really want to know from you, what was it like being there? I saw the video, so you clearly got to be actually in the rehearsal space.
Right, I felt like I was kind of looking through a peephole almost at this whole new world that I had never seen before. And you won't believe who I ran into. McLaurin, I don't know if you guys remember from our first show, we did a feature on her because they had kids auditioning for the parts, and she did end up getting the part. She's a little girl in the play, and she looked the most professional of them all up there, I have to say. So doing a great job.
Yeah, I actually ran into her and her mom the other day. They're on their way to a rehearsal. I live right across the street from the Performing Arts Center, and she got out of the car and talked about how fun rehearsals have been. She hurt a little leg, but she was saying that it wasn't stopping her, that this has just been a great experience for her. So I definitely have to get my ticket to go see the show.
Yes, I know, we'll have to go together, but Love her, love the rest of the cast. Very well spoken and great to talk to.
An excellent show. But that's all we have for you this morning, and we'll be back on October 22nd.
Yes, we will. And in the meantime, be sure to check us out on social media, facebook.com/ELN Morning and on Twitter @ELN Morning.
For all the latest news throughout the week, make sure you visit our website, elonlocalnews.com.
And tune into ELN Radio tomorrow at 6 p.m. live on WSOE, the only alternative.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great fall break, Elon.